Everyone, welcome to today's episode. Today I have one of my friends from communications. We just met this week because school just started.
Yeah.
But we talked a little bit about kind of who we are in class, and I just decided to mention I have a podcast because why not self-plug every once in a while?
I mean, might as well.
And so she was like, no way. And she sits right in front of me. And so I was like, yeah. And I said, do you want to be on? And she was like, heck yeah. So she's here with us today. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So my name's Savannah. I'm in her communications class. I'm majoring in marketing. I film for SEU Media right now for sports, which is kind of fun. And I just love talking about psychology and having deep conversations. So
me too.
This is going to be fun for me.
Yeah. So why aren't you a psych major then? Or at least a psych minor?
Oh man, I feel like I could be so many different things, but that's a good question. I don't know.
Well, do you have a minor right now?
Yeah, communications.
Oh, okay.
But I might change that to film, might change it to something else.
Okay.
But I just love learning about it. I love reading like self-help books, stuff like that.
Me too.
Listening to podcasts is my vibe. So
yeah, me too. No, I love all the stuff. You could just take a few psych classes just for fun.
Yeah, you'll have to recommend some to me.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know if you can take certain ones unless you have a minor or a major in it. I don't know how that works, like upper division, but who knows? You can always look into it.
Yeah.
If it lets you register for it, why the heck not, you know?
Might as well.
Have you taken Psych 1010? Okay.
No.
So that would be step one.
Okay.
But yeah, I love it. And the psych program here is so good. I love every professor I've had so far.
Oh,
so,
that's good.
Yeah.
That's always a plus.
Oh, so for sure, 100%. Yeah. So, one of the things that I thought was interesting that we learned about in class is that you were named after Savannah Smiles. Is that right?
Well, that's how I got my nickname.
Oh, your nickname.
My parents just liked the name, but growing up I played soccer, and one of my coaches was like, have you ever seen the movie Savannah Smiles? And I was like, yes. And I told him that in the movie, it's about a girl named Savannah, and she's got parents, obviously. Her mom's name is Jill, and my mom's name is Jill.
Oh, really?
And then her dad's name is Robert, but my dad's name is Richard, so I was like, close enough.
That's pretty close.
And then everybody just started calling me Smiles, so.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah.
And you have a nice smile. It's too
thank
bad no one can see it right now, but. So, quick question then. Is that the movie where she gets kidnapped on accident?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then that's the right one that I'm thinking of.
It's a cute one.
Yeah, it's very cute. It's been a while since I've seen it.
Same, yeah.
Maybe we should watch it sometime.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to the topic. I told Savannah that if she wanted to come on, she had to come up with the topic and had to find a quote and the word of the day. So she did all of those things. Okay. So way to go. Today she wanted to talk about identity and who we are. She sent me a few of her notes, which I liked, and then I added one or two. What did you want to start off with? Just kind of go with wherever you want to go.
Yeah, I'm a freshman in college, so obviously I'm at a point, and I don't know if you are too, where I'm kind of just discovering who I am and what I want to present myself as. And I think that's something that everybody obviously has a point in their life where they're trying to find that.
Absolutely.
It's a question of how do we find that? Is there like a specific road we go down to find who we are? Or is it just like a moment that clicks in your brain and it's just like, oh, okay, you know, this is who I am.
This is who I am.
First thing on the list, might as well just go right down.
Yeah, why not?
I wanted to ask you who you think you are.
Oh, whoa. I actually have an answer for you.
Okay, let's hear it.
So, I know you're not a member of the church, but I did want to bring it up because it is so tied to my identity. But I am someone who cares a lot. In one of my other classes, we wrote down like 3 to 4 words about who we were. It's personality theory, actually. It's a psych class. Pretty interesting so far. And I wrote down passionate. And then we talked about it, actually, because I decided to share, because that's also who I am. I'm that kid. I'm the one that everyone looks to when it's silent and the teacher's waiting for an answer and they're like, okay.
I get that too.
Yeah. Like, it's time, okay, Kyra, nudge, nudge.
Yeah.
And so I'm that kid. I share stuff. And then I am passionate, I'm driven, I like to explore, I like to be deep, just like you said. I'm very, very, I don't know, religious, I guess is the right word maybe, but I care a lot. I just barely worked in the temple, and that's why I was running late. So yeah, so that means a lot to me. I'm the oldest of 6 kids, but really I just like being authentic and genuine, and I'm bubbly, but I also like my alone time, and that's pretty important too. So I guess I'm going to ask you the same question. Who do you think you are so far?
Well, first off, I just want to say that I respect your passion.
Thank
I
you.
really do. I'm a passionate person myself, at least I think I am.
It seems that way.
But I used to be a member of the church. I left a few years ago. So as somebody who really, really believed in everything in that church, I respect people who really go all the way and really just are passionate and aren't afraid to speak about it. So I really respect that.
Thank you. I love that.
But yeah, so who I am at the moment, I am somebody who feels like you change every day, you know, you're somebody different. But first thing I can think of is I'm a gym rat. I love working out.
Yeah, she wanted to run to my house, guys. I was like, I can come pick you up. She's like, nah, I'll run. She lives over a mile away.
Oh, man.
Crazy.
Yeah, so I just love improving. I think that's a big part of who I am. Growing up in soccer, you know, you always try to be the best.
Right.
That's not always the case, but always trying to work towards that next goal, that next step is a big part of my life. And I'm a big family girl. Love my family. That's a big one. Call my mom all the time. I'm very passionate. I feel like I love what I do. I'm filming sports all the time, editing, all that stuff. I love going to class. I don't really like complaining. I just like to be positive and just be supportive and So that's who I am.
I love it. I think life is so much better when you look for the positive.
Yeah, I agree.
And I understand that not all of the times that works out. You know, some days are just hard and you're like, I just want to be mad for a second, you know.
Yeah.
But when you look for the little things that just make you happy, like your life is better, you know? So why focus on the negative when you can see the positive too?
Yeah. And I mentioned this in our communications class. I'm sure you remember, but it's from Andrew Huberman. He does a lot of podcasts. He's a neuroscientist, and he talks about a lot of different things. But one of the things he talks about is a lot of things in your brain and how literally you can trick your mind into thinking that you're happy. I guess you could call it like the placebo effect or like faking it until you make it, but it's an actual scientific thing that you can change your brain to be in a good mood. So I truly believe that if you say, I love this class, or you know, maybe this homework's not that bad, or I do have friends and I do have fun, I think that's something that can really change your life. So.
I like that a lot. I do want to mention, just because I've got to be true to my past self, I have depression, and I'm not struggling with it currently, which is just wonderful, and I'm very grateful for that. Yeah. But a chemical imbalance in your brain definitely is very important to take care of, go see a professional. So if you're not struggling with those things, though, and your brain is chemically balanced, I think looking for the positive and deciding to try to find the good in things is very important and very vital to success.
Yeah, I do agree. It's more complicated than what I said.
Yeah, but I see what you're saying, and I appreciate what you're saying. And I think it's true, especially with homework. If I'm like, this homework assignment sucks, then it's harder to do.
Right.
But if you just sit down, you're like, I can pump this out, I've got this, you know, then it's a lot easier and faster to do.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I totally respect that. I totally agree to a point. I do know sometimes it is hard, but when you're chemically balanced and, you know, things are good in your brain, then have at it.
Yeah. Right.
But I just wanted to state that just to be true to my past self, you know, because I think one of the things that was interesting for me as I grew out of the depression and was able to find happiness and joy was that I wanted to always be true to that, to not invalidate others, because it was really frustrating when I was struggling for people to be like, just be grateful or look for the positive. I'm like, don't you think I'm trying?
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying.
Yeah.
That's why I just wanted to state that. But I totally agree.
No, I respect that completely. Yeah, that's great. Well, do we want to talk about, do you know what the imposter syndrome is?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Do you want to define what
I think it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's more, I don't know if I have like a straight up definition, but an example. Yeah. We talk a lot about imposter syndrome in psychology, actually, especially if you become a counselor, just starting out thinking like, I don't belong here, or I'm not as good as they are, or I'm not experienced, like I said, I don't belong here, I'm an imposter. Yeah. We've talked about it in that setting, but basically when you're in a certain setting or in a calling or in a job and you don't feel adequate, you might feel incompetent, and you don't feel like you belong there because you aren't good enough. And so I think it's a source of feeling not good enough and feeling incompetent. I think people even in college can feel that way too. Like who am I to be here?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
What do you think it is?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like you could go all day saying, oh, there's these D1 athletes and somebody got an A and I got a B, you know? It's all those comparisons to me that I feel like can just tear somebody apart.
Absolutely.
So it's like, how do you avoid that, you know?
For sure.
So I definitely think that's a big one. One thing I stand by, and tell me how you feel about this.
Okay.
A big thing I go by is only compare who you are today from who you were yesterday. I feel like we are changing every single day, and we are literally growing whether you know it or not. Yeah.
It may not be good.
Right.
but
you're changing. You're a different person. So everybody's living their own lives. Everybody's in different positions. So I don't feel like anybody should be comparing themselves to others. And that's harder said than done.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. Right. But trying your hardest to really just focus on yourself and who you used to be and how you've grown is something that I stand by. But
I love that. I was just thinking, and this is totally a lame joke, so feel free to like shake your head when you hear this, but are you saying if I had you on a few days ago, I'd have a different Savannah than I have here today?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of things I've changed in the past few days. I've read more of my book. We'll just say that.
Ooh, I like it.
So
wait,
I've
what book are you
more.
reading?
It's called The 12 Rules for Life.
Ooh,
by
I think I've actually, is it John something?
Jordan Peterson.
Jordan. I was like, I know it starts with a J.
Oh my gosh. Great book. I recommend.
I actually think I have it downloaded on my Kindle.
Oh my gosh, read it.
I just have so many books that are just so good.
Right
on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I totally need to read that.
Yeah.
Have you ever, here's a book that's going to blow your mind.
Okay,
everyone listening? It's called What Happened to You?
Okay.
And Oprah wrote part of it, and then this guy named Bruce Perry, I'm pretty sure, Dr. Perry. It's definitely Dr. Perry.
Oh,
I don't know if his first name is Bruce or not.
Okay.
But I listened to it as an audiobook.
Okay.
And so that's what I would recommend, because the audiobook's really good.
Gotcha.
I've looked at reviews of the book, and a lot of people are bothered by the actual text. The two people are talking, like Oprah talks a little bit, and then he'll talk a little bit.
Okay.
It's kind of like a podcast a little bit, but it's a book and an audiobook. And apparently when Oprah says something, it's in like blue lettering, and so it bothers people. But anyway, the audiobook is really good. They read it themselves, and sometimes it's like a conversation. Okay. And so it's way cool. It's like life-changing. That book is so good. Instead of saying what's wrong with you, it's what happened to you to make you the way that you are.
Oh, I like that.
It's so good.
I like
so good. And there's a lot of stories in there and anecdotes that make it more interesting. You'll love it.
Okay.
So good.
Okay.
I recommend 100%. Anyone who's listening, it's really good. I love, 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 love books where my compassion for humankind grows. I read this other book called Just Mercy. Have you ever heard of that book?
No.
Have you watched the movie by any chance? It has Jordan B. Peterson in it.
Oh,
or
really?
not Peterson, oh my gosh. Michael B. Jordan.
Okay.
Michael
I
B.
was
Jordan.
like, wait a second, he's in movies?
I'm like, who the heck is Peterson? No. Michael B. Jordan in it. The movie is not as good as the book. But the book, my compassion for mankind and for humankind grew exponentially. And those books are good. I love those type of books.
Yeah. I think they're great.
That's why I love psychology too, because you learn more about people, and it's easier to be more empathetic and more loving and more kind because you understand them. You know, it's also really interesting when people say something about psychology and you're like, actually, that's not true.
Right.
Like, that's a myth.
Yeah, I've never thought about that, but I totally agree. Yeah. That's great.
So look into that, and if you end up reading it, let me know.
Okay.
And anyone listening, if you look it up and you read it or listen to it, hit me up. I'd love to discuss it. It's so good. But yeah, the 12 rules, or 12
the 12 rules of life.
Yes. Yeah. No, I'll definitely look into that, because I'm pretty sure there's like a summary that I have Kindle Unlimited, and I think that's unlimited, but then the actual book you have to buy. So anyway, but I should get it when I'm ready to read it.
Yeah.
Because
it's life-changing.
Why let it sit there?
Yeah.
Let's see, how have I changed the last few days? Well, yesterday communication was canceled.
Yeah.
Because she had a sick kid or something and wasn't feeling well. And then I didn't really feel like going to my second class because my first one was canceled.
Right.
And so that was probably not very mature of me. But anyway, I had just worked from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. So I worked that night and I was tired. And I was like, if one of my classes is canceled, that's so awkward to wait and like be up for like an hour and then go to school.
Yeah.
So I just slept through it. But I got to hang out with my roommates and have fun. So I don't know. I think even just finding gratitude in little things, like I was exhausted. And so the fact I got to go home and sleep was very nice.
Yeah.
It was a blessing.
Yeah.
So I think even just being blessed and noticing that you're blessed helps you grow and change.
Yeah. And another thing too, I think building relationships also changes you
There
too.
you go.
So
there you go. 100%.
You're a new person.
Congrats. I don't know if new person fits it, but yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
You're very good on a podcast, just so you know.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
I'm like nervous, you know.
What do you think? No, you're doing great. You're doing great, honestly. Okay, next. I think something that's interesting is how we present ourselves and how we want to be seen by others. I just barely talked about this with Whitney. I think you might have listened to that or not.
Yeah, I think I listened to some of it.
I think we should totally talk about it again because I think it's important. You can be who you are. You can be you, but do you show that person to others or do you present someone else?
Yeah.
And it's such a weird thought to think too.
Right.
And I think what's even scarier is when you think you don't know if you're presenting yourself or not. Mm-hmm. Have you ever felt that before?
Yeah.
You're like, am I being myself? I don't know.
Right. No, I totally agree. It's an out-of-body experience, honestly.
Yeah, it really is.
Is this me?
Yeah.
What is going on?
Yeah.
No, I totally agree.
Yeah. Or like, I don't know, when I'm hanging out with really good friends and I go crazy, I'm like, this is not like me normally.
Yeah,
like, what
I
am
will
doing?
say, let's hope none of my old roommates listen to this.
Probably not.
They're good people, but I'm the type of person, I'll go to parties and then I'll leave. I'm not staying the whole time.
No.
Big party people, okay? I had 9 roommates. All
Holy!
party people. And I partied a lot last semester, and after going home, realized that was not me. So
you're a little tired of it then.
Yeah.
Did you go to the dance yesterday then?
I didn't.
Yeah,
no.
me neither.
Yeah.
My friend texted
like, no.
me and she's like, are you going? And I'm like, heavens no. I need sleep.
I saw videos from it and I'm like, oh, that's just a relief that I know now that I didn't need to go to that, you know?
Okay, sorry, I interrupted you, but
no, you're good.
I was asking if you went to that since, party yesterday at SUU.
Oh, yeah. So
little dance.
I do think that sometimes after you do something, you kind of feel like, wait, that wasn't me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's hard to deal with, but also that's a learning experience.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely.
So.
I was just going to say, I think it's even cooler because you get to learn more about who you are.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I just did that. I didn't really feel like that was me.
Right.
And then, for next time.
Yeah.
And I feel like depending on your mood can also change how you present yourself.
Yeah.
If you're exhausted, most likely you're not going to be this bubbly, outgoing, crazy person. You're going to be more, drawn in and to save your energy at that point.
Yeah, there's multiple factors,
Absolutely.
Tired who you're around, what happened that day.
True.
Yeah, your situation, everything. So I have a question for you.
Okay.
What mask do you think you put on in front of people? What's a version of yourself that you can share with us?
Okay, so she's spicy over here. Wrote down questions and did tell me
I didn't write them down. They're just coming up.
She's just coming with them. They're actually really good questions.
Thank you.
Well done. Honestly, what I'm coming to mind is sometimes I feel I am more bubbly or more friendly than I feel inside, and not in a disingenuine or not authentic. I don't know how to say that.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Not authentic way at all. I just think sometimes I don't have energy and I pretend I do. Which, once again, we talked about how you can trick your mind into having more energy or trick your mind to being in a good mood.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes in that case, and if we want to go deeper, when I was struggling with depression, very much so, the mask I put on was that everything was okay. And actually, I was a pretty good actress. A lot of people didn't know that I was having a hard time because when I'm struggling, I excel. Like, I go into my studies, I don't give up on things. But then when I get home and go to my room, I kind of like crash, you know, and I sleep a lot. But no one really knew I was struggling because I was doing great in school. I was still talking to friends and stuff, but I was just having a hard time. So in that case, I had a mask of everything's okay, but inside I was not.
Yeah.
But now it's really just sometimes I think I pretend I have more energy than I do, which in reality I don't think is a problem because it helps me get more energy.
Yeah.
But sometimes though I feel like I act really weird and strange and I'm like, I don't know if that's not me. It might be me. But I don't know if I like presenting that side of me. For example,
I get that.
I'm one of the Institute choir presidents.
Okay.
And so for the first day, just so you know, that's instead of seminary in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, it's an institute, so it's in college, and there's a choir. So anyway, I'm the choir president. The first day of school, we had a goal to memorize everyone's names. So me and the choir director. And she is amazing and incredible. I remember the very first day I went 3 semesters ago. She learned everyone's name right then and there in one class period. And I was floored. I was absolutely shook. I was like, how did she do that? Like, she'd went around, learned our names. Like, before class started, she would talk to us a little bit. And then once class started, she went around and she named every single person. And I was like, that's incredible. I could never do that. And guess what? I did it last semester.
Oh, heck
like,
yeah.
I got everyone's names. And then we timed ourselves just for fun.
There you go.
So I think she did it in 41 seconds, and I did it in 43.
Oh my
But
gosh.
I knew everyone.
Wow.
And so this week started again, and I was like, oh, great, you know, here's some more names. And I think I got all of them other than like 3 or 4, but she told me, she said, you know, when you don't know someone's name, you just target them, and then you get to know them, you know, like you go up there and you talk to them more.
That's your goal, right there.
because then you won't forget their name.
Yeah.
And luckily she knows everyone's name, so I'm like, hey, who's the girl over there in the green shirt? And she's like, oh, that's, you know, this person. So that's been really helpful, but I think especially as the choir director, on the first day, I acted way more bubbly and weird than I thought. Especially because none of them knew that I was the choir president, at least most of them. So they thought this random girl was just going around learning names, you know, and that's weird.
Were you nervous? Do you think that was, like, the reason for...
Honestly, I wasn't nervous at all, no.
It just
happened. Yeah, those things don't make me nervous, but I think I might have been more active or, you know, talking more to be bubbly or something, you know, to come across as a likable person. Not that I'm not that.
Right.
But I was more exaggerated. Because,
no, I get that. Yeah. Well, going back on what you said, I feel bad going far back.
No, please go back. I talked a lot, and I apologize for that.
No, I love hearing your stories.
Sometimes when I'm on a rant, so this happened, and then this happened, and then...
Thankfully, I'm a good listener.
Yeah,
so
you are.
I can listen for a while. Talking about when you're kind of putting on that face, I feel like women as a whole, if we want to go pretty general, I feel like we're very pleasing people.
That's true.
So
there's literally
like,
studies about that.
Yeah, I feel like that's like an immediate response is to put on a face, fake it till you make it.
Be a peacemaker.
Yeah,
you know.
And sometimes, like you said, you just crash in the background because that's not what you're actually feeling.
Right.
And I definitely get that sometimes, and it's kind of sucky not having people know what you're actually feeling.
Oh my goodness, that's so accurate. Yes.
Yeah.
I was also just thinking about how it's hard when you do meet someone for the first time and you feel like you didn't present your real self.
Yeah.
And you're like, shoot, they're not going to like me ever because I just was crazy.
Right.
That was what happened when I first met my roommate that I share rooms with.
Really?
I was super exhausted and tired, and we had actually just bought me a car that day, and then I moved into this place, and I was just so tired. And I was sitting on my bed, like, handing clothes to my grandma to hang up. I was so tired. And my roommate's like, can I help? And I was like, you don't need to. And she's like, no, please. And I was just so out of it. And I was like, she probably thinks I'm some weirdo, lame-o, like, lazy person. But we invited her to dinner that night. My cousin and her boyfriend were there. And I'm super fun and super crazy with them. And I laughed my head off and told a ton of stories. And so she got to see that side of me that exact same day. And that made me feel so much better. Because I was like, okay, she doesn't think I'm actually just like this lazy, sullen, doesn't talk much person.
Yeah.
And so that was nice, but...
Oh, that's good.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you, what mask do you put on?
Okay.
And then let's talk about the word of the day and the quote of the day.
Okay.
And then I feel like we can still talk about this, so we're going to do another episode, the same topic.
Okay.
What do you think?
I'm so down. Sure.
Okay,
Let's
so what masks do you wear?
do it. Ooh. Okay. I think a big one is honestly putting on a smile. I say I smile all the time, and I
Savannah
do.
smiles.
It's genuine most of the time.
Right.
But there is some days where I'm just done. I'm tired. It happened a lot last semester.
Well, yeah, if you were partying all the time.
Yeah, with my roommates kind of draining me out, where I just hit a breaking point where I couldn't be around them, you know?
You're like, I need a break.
Like, I had a hard time, and I'm trying to think. I do put on a big face around guys. That's a big one.
More smiley? Or more
it's
flirty?
different.
Or
I don't
what?
know. I change. Sometimes I'm like so super competitive.
Oh.
And I'm
kind of a flirty way?
Yeah.
I feel like I've gotten that way too. I've got to win.
Right. I'm a competitive person.
Yeah, me too.
But that's my whole personality. That's who I am. I have to win at everything.
You have to win.
You know? If you beat me in something, we're doing it again so I can beat you.
Rematch right now.
Exactly. I don't know. I think back and I'm like, that's so cheesy, man. Like, just let them win, you know? But another one is I get really smiley and bubbly, and then I feel like, and
do you beat yourself up if you lose? That's the question I want to know.
No.
Okay, good.
No. I mean, maybe for a moment,
but then you're like, whatever.
But in my head, I'm like, competitive. I gotta do it again, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't like beat myself up.
That's good.
Yeah. Definitely around guys. I feel like I have a hard time just kind of transferring who I am around my friends to around other, guys.
And maybe even around your family too.
Yeah.
I bet it's all a little bit different.
That's another thing too. I feel like I'm original around my family, but I have a hard time transferring that over to everywhere else.
So to bring it all back,
yeah,
you're questioning, who am I?
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like that has a big thing to do with comfort. Like,
absolutely. 100%. Completely agree.
How comfortable am I with this person, and how does that relate to who I'm showing?
Who are you presenting?
Yes. Thank you.
Such a deep idea and thought.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to share the word of the day, and then you're going to share the quote of the day. How do you feel about that?
Okay, wait, which one? No, we decided you were going to say the word of the day.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad.
No, you're good.
My
okay.
apologies.
Not gonna lie, I could very much butcher this word, so I just want everyone to be aware that I could say this very rarely wrong. Okay, coruscate or coruscation. I'm pretty sure that's right. And it's an adjective, and it means flashing, sparkling, coruscating kaleidoscope of colors. So if you kind of think of kaleidoscope, brilliant or striking in content or style. And then it can be a verb, and it means to flash or sparkle. And so it talks about like the light was coruscating from the walls. My challenge whenever time I do a word of the day is to connect it to what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So I asked her, how do we connect this? What do you think?
Yeah, I was like, just being bold.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta go out there and show who you are,
coruscate. You just gotta flash and sparkle.
I think it's a good connection.
Sometimes I'm too sparkly.
Oh, that's great. I love it.
That's perfect. Okay, you want to share the quote?
Okay, here we go. This is by Jordan Peterson. We talked about him.
Yes,
he wrote
we did.
The book.
Yes, we did.
In his book, he says, "We only see what we aim at. The rest of the world is hidden," which I think is great for showing who you are, you know? People only see what we present to them. Really, everything else is hidden until they ask or until you show it. So,
I actually want to add to that, even though we're running out of time. I think sometimes you can see what they're not presenting if you're good at reading people.
True.
Not always the case, but...
True.
Okay, we're going to continue this in another episode, just so everyone's aware. There will be a part 2. We're going to keep talking. But for today, we're going to close up, and we will talk to you next Wednesday. So, Savannah, any parting words?
No, I'm just glad to be here.
Yes, me too. Go and cruise skate away.